I'm Jason Weigandt here. We continue to roll through the summer. Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Can I even get into this podcast without bringing up what they would say? The cliche phrase is the elephant in the room, which is the television coverage for the series this year, or more importantly, I should say, more accurately, the streaming internet coverage. Yeah, so a quick synopsis of how we got here, and I think I've been accused by some people of not talking about this because I'm covering it up, but there's really not a lot of more information than what's already out there. I mean, it's certainly not like we're trying to cover up how you watch the series. Started like this. So NBC was a big partner of the Pro Motocross Championship, or Lucas Oil Pro Motocross as it came to be, since 2009. And the way I kind of see it, it was like a three-pronged attack with Lucas Oil, who was much more than just the title sponsor of the series, much more, because the actual television equipment and the crew, all the wiring that connects all the cameras and the cameras themselves and all of that stuff, all of the television production costs and people were part of the Lucas Oil Productions TV crew. They produce oil. That company produces oil, obviously, but it also produces television shows, specifically ones about racing. So they are an integrated part of the series, much more so than just, hey, the title sponsor gives a big check and someone watches the stuff and feels that they're getting enough for it. No, they have true skin in the game, like employees on the ground. So Lucas Oil is a component. Obviously, MX Sports Pro Racing, who is a sister company who I work for at Racer X, obviously they're a big part of the game. And then NBC was as well. And basically it was three different companies working together to produce the championship as we know it from 2009 through the end of last year. Now, I know the easy knee-jerk reaction is just assume Davey Coombs owns the Nationals and every decision is his and he gets the credit and the blame. But it's a lot more complicated than that. Like, for example, did you know that the sponsorships for the series were actually sold through NBC and their wing over the last couple years? That's right. The sponsorships are actually sold by NBC, not even by MX Sports. Things like that. And MX Sports, by the way, is eventually beholden to AMA Pro Racing, which is the organization down in Daytona that purchased professional AMA racing back in 2007, 2008, which is how the series became up for grabs for 2009, and that's how MX Sports got it. And they even got to send a check to the AMA Pro Racing folks to even have the right to organize the series. They do not own the series. If anyone actually owns it, it would be AMA Pro Racing, which is actually not the traditional AMA in Ohio. It's the AMA in Daytona, because that's who the AMA in Ohio sold the series rights off to, and then they called MX Sports and said, would you like to run this for us? But you have to pay us for the right to do that. Are you following all that? So there's a lot of different entities, much more than just Davey having a meeting every day and saying, haha, I'm king, here's my scepter and my throne, and this is all me. So it was a three-pronged group, really, NBC, Lucas Oil, and Lucas Oil Productions, as that would be on the TV side, and MX Sports running this thing together. And then that ran into a problem, and from what I can tell, I believe the problem actually was the 2020 Olympic Games not happening due to COVID. That really tightened the belts of, 2020 tightened the belts of every sports television producing group. You know, when you have millions of dollars expected to come in for games and events that didn't end up happening, and when they did happen, they were kind of weirdo versions, and they were not as popular as they would have been if they came in at their traditional time. Every TV group has had to tighten the belt, and I believe that's what NBC had to do, and they made a pretty radical decision to tighten so much that they closed NBCSN, the channel that the races had been on for a long time. Yes, the first motos aired on MAVTV, but NBCSN was really the heart of what the series was aimed on. For a long time, we had two motos on Speed Channel, and that became FS1, and then we moved to NBCSN because NBC was part of the series. And it was like, the first motos, they'll air somewhere. At one point, it was just on the internet. Then it was on Fuel TV. Then it was MAVTV. But the big package really was that 2 hours on NBCSN. And that's not an option anymore because as of January 1st, 2022, the channel is gone. So NBC still wanted to be involved, maybe via Peacock, and they do have 3 motos a year still airing on the big NBC network. So they're still involved. They still like the series, but they're not nearly as invested, from a staffing, production, brain power standpoint as they would have been when half of the motos were airing on their television channel and all the motos were streaming on their streaming service. So with NBCSN going away, one of those three organizational pillars of the series was gone. That's, 33% of the brain power, manpower, labor, the thoughts, all those things. So Lucas and MX Sports Pro Racing have tried to get it done, just the two of them. And Lucas, I believed that their MAVTV Plus streaming service was robust enough to handle this. And there were some advantages to doing it this way. Most importantly, Peacock, if you live in the United States, worked awesome. There's no doubt about it. But I do not understand this. But for some reason, Peacock is domestic only. It's United States only. And then internationally, they still use the old NBC Sports Gold name. But for some reason, they were not putting motocross on it. I don't understand why that was, but the races weren't on in Australia and Canada. I think most of Europe last year. And that was kind of embarrassing for the series, right? Because a Frenchman and an Australian win the two titles. So MAVTV doesn't have any geocaching fencing. It's just available in every country around the world. So it's like, oh, MAVTV Plus can handle it. We'll get the word out so people just know to watch on MAVTV Plus instead of Peacock. We'll get the price basically to where Peacock was. And there you go. And okay, I don't know if it was as good as NBCSN because that's a much bigger television channel than MAVTV as far as the amount of households it was in. But then again, MAVTV was going to air all four, or does air all four motos in a row live every weekend, so you don't have to do searching around the dial. The real problem with NBCSN would be in the summertime, tons of sports, and especially other motorsports were on at the same time, so we didn't always get 2 hours even of live coverage, let alone 4 straight. So with MAVTV, it was some steps forward, some steps back, but it was a mix. Some things were better, some things were worse. All predicated on the fact that the app would work. And that is the fundamental problem. The app hasn't worked. Now, quick note, quick interruption. These videos are brought to you by anti-gravity batteries. I have 2 batteries in my hand. This one is slightly heavier, but it's about the same weight as the one that came in your bike, but it has so much juice, you could jumpstart your truck with the battery in your dirt bike. And these batteries have built-in jump starter capabilities. So if your battery dies, it can jumpstart itself. If you're like me, you don't do a lot of maintenance, you don't ride a lot, and your battery's going to die a lot, you want this one. And if you're an off-road guy or you're racing on a muddy day and you're going to have to crank the bike a lot, you'll never have to worry about running out of juice with this battery. Now, this one is super lightweight. This would be the choice of the likes of Eli Tomac. His Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha team uses this battery. This would be the choice of Jason Anderson and now Joey Savacci, who are the Monster Energy Kawasaki team for the summer at Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. These are the batteries for you. Antigravitybattery.com. The app hasn't worked. And if that hadn't happened, if the app had worked, I think everything else would have been fine. I mean, it would be awesome, yes, to just have stayed on Peacock. You watched motocross last year on Peacock. You watched Supercross this year on Peacock. It rolls right into motocross. That would have been ideal. But that really couldn't be done because, with Supercross, they were able to slam the television component onto other NBC-owned networks like CNBC and MSNBC and all that. But they weren't, as far as I know, I think, willing or able to do that, or even USA Network, I think, was used too. I don't know if they were willing or able to do that with motocross in the summer when there's a lot more stuff that they got to try to cram on. I mean, can you imagine the hours and hours and hours of NASCAR content that they have to find a channel for this time of year, which they didn't have to deal with in the early winter of Supercross? So if MAVTV Plus had worked, I don't think it would have been bad. I think it would have been okay. Like I said, some steps forward, some steps back. But the problem is, it did not work. It did not work. And it's still having problems to this day. Heard from people that were trying to watch Redbud, still had problems. And in the end, MAVTV admitted, look, we had a couple weeks. We had a problem at round 1. We tried to fix it for round 2. Couldn't fix it by round 3. And I'm going to tell you guys, I think by round 3, they knew we can't patch this together. It's going to take months or a year, basically much too long, to get this app to the point where it can handle the type of traffic that motocross is giving us. So we've got to do something drastic. We're not going to be able to fix it, and we don't want this app to not work for all 24 motos of each class. So the drastic move that they took was to switch to a more established streaming service, which is called Flow Sports. It's been around for a long time. Some of you might have seen Endurocross on there or Arena Cross on there. They are confident that Flow Sports can handle this kind of traffic. So I know it sounds absolutely crazy to switch streaming midway through the season. It totally does. And it's absolutely terrible that MAVTV Plus wasn't working. And once you pay for it, it has to work, right? Once you're paying, there are no excuses. I mean, if it goes out for 5 minutes all year, that's fine. But every weekend, unacceptable. So they've taken a huge, huge, huge step to say, we're just going to, they are literally shutting MAVTV Plus down. The entire experiment is over because of motocross. They feel so bad and so guilty about this that they're like, we are just stopping. And we're just going to join forces with Flow Sports. Flow did not buy MAVTV, by the way. I've heard that rumor out there. That's not what happened. Flow didn't buy MAVTV. MAVTV just said, like, look, and I think we're going to see this overall. You're going to see consolidation. There are so many subscriptions and so many streaming packages. This is not going to be the last time you hear about two companies that have streaming services joining forces. So that's it. And from what I've heard from some of the MAV people, it's kind of like, hey, maybe this is the way to do it. Flow doesn't have a TV component. We do. We still have MAVTV, the television network, and they're better than us at streaming. So the two of us together, maybe it's the best of both worlds. So that's what's going to happen here going forward. They had to negotiate to get Flow to honor the same $6.99 a month rate that the motocross people were expecting to pay for MAVTV Plus. It's crazy. It's nuts to switch streaming midway through, but just know where this comes from. It comes from you folks that were trying to watch it. It wasn't working, and they just want to fix it. So the alternative of using MAVTV Plus all the way to the end of the year, it wasn't going to work. So I know people are outraged and think this is unbelievably dumb and stupid, but just remember where it's coming from. Trying to make sure it actually works. Now, yes, that's pretty bad that MAV thought it was going to get the job done, and it wasn't ready at the beginning of the year. That is bad. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Don't tell anybody. This is just between you and me. People at MAV TV have lost their jobs over this. Have lost their jobs. Because I've had people on social media be like, heads need to roll when things get this screwed up. Well, guess what? Heads have rolled. Heads have rolled. People have lost their jobs. And now that MAVTV Plus in entirety is being shut down, and I imagine many more people are going to lose their jobs. So yes, this did result in people losing their jobs because MAV really, really, really wanted this to work. I think they looked at getting motocross as a huge step for them, and maybe it was a step to do more. Supercross television deal is up. I'm sure they would like that. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you're just looking at, okay, this is a big brick in the wall for us if we can make this work, and then maybe we go after NASCAR somewhere down the road, or drag racing, or IndyCar, or whatever it might be. Well, when the app doesn't work right, that definitely sets their plans back. So they feel terrible. They've switched. That's why this has happened. So here's how it is going to work. The MAVTV Plus, if you still have it, it will work for the next couple of races all the way through Washougal. And if you have an annual subscription, you will be refunded. You will no longer be charged for a monthly subscription after July when it stops working. So they're not fleecing anybody. They're not stealing your money. You're either getting refunded for the annual, or they're just going to stop charging you for the monthly once they stop airing anything, which they will at the end of July. And we're going to put a more simplified link on the RacerX site to the Flow Sports link to get you that $6.99 price. There was a press release out last week. We put the press release on the RacerX site, but it had a variety of links. So to make it more simplified, I think we're going to have a more simplified version. I'm recording this on Wednesday morning. I think there's a few other ideas and fixes coming to try to make Southwick a little more streamlined, so you know exactly what link to click and exactly what to buy. I did hear that anyone that tried the Flow Sports over the weekend at Redbud had no problems. So it should work better than MAVTV Plus. We'll get the link on the RacerX site and some other info. They're still sorting out details this week. The Redbud thing, it didn't go over well when they announced the Flow Sports deal. They're trying to make it better. That's really all it comes down to. They're just trying to make it work. That's it. That's all I got for you on that front.